Hey everybody, and welcome back to Sports Central. I'm Mark Jackson, Hank Longo to my right. And Hank, we have another very special organization to thank for their ongoing
Holiday Inn Lakeland North. Thank you so much for being one of our sponsors of our third segment at Sports Central.
Hey, I made an error the last segment. I'm a big Packer fan that I am. Packers actually drafted Clay Matthews 26th. But there was somebody else that
I was going to tell you that, but I didn't want to interrupt you when you were making that statement.
Alrighty then, moving right along.
Well, somebody got on the team that wasn't drafted.
Big industry. Worldwide, in the United States, it's growing by leaps and bounds, and in Florida, a little more established than a lot of people think. The sport of soccer, it is huge, and it is growing at lightning speed, and we just happen to have the president of the Florida State Soccer Association with us, based right here in Polk County. And Arthur Mattson, man, it's great to see you, as always. Sports guru, but you're here to talk about soccer today, particularly adult soccer. Separate and distinct from the Florida Youth Soccer Association, the State Soccer Association deals with adults.
Right. What we have is you have the Florida Youth Soccer Association, and you have the Florida State Soccer. The Florida Youth pretty much accommodates 18 years and younger. And we take all the players once they reach the age of 18, some 19-year-olds and beyond. Both organizations are under U.S. Soccer. We are the two groups in the state of Florida that are a member of the United States Soccer Federation.
Okay. That's, it's just a huge organization. Of course, you've seen a lot of growth, and particularly, what's interesting, the soccer is such a big part of Hispanic culture. And as Florida's population of Hispanics grows, I would imagine that on the adult side of things, you're seeing a big increase in numbers because of that. It's an interesting development here recently.
Yeah, and one of the areas of our state that is experiencing the greatest amount of growth right now is South Florida, and that is large in part of the Hispanic community down there. And I just actually read in the paper this morning that VSI, the professional group, is they're going to be playing their games in Plant City, and Plant City has a huge Hispanic group of soccer players, adult and youth. So I think that had a lot to do with why they chose that area.
Yeah. How are you seeing these young players aspire? Like when you get to be 18, 19 years old, is that really when they're kind of getting to be in their peak or starting to get into their peak at that age? Or?
It's tough to say. I mean, from a physical standpoint, obviously, the age of 19 to 25, a player generally will peak out physically. But we certainly see players develop, even professionally past that age. So it's not too late for you guys. We can do this. In fact, I think the last time I was on here, you guys promised me you were going to come out and play, and
haven't seen us out there yet.
Well, I got a question for you, because I'll have this discussion, and it seems like on a regular basis. But one conversation was with Adrian Jones, the general manager at Legoland. He wanted to play, get into a league and so on and so forth. Well, there's an enormous amount of Brits in this area. They own vacation rental homes, or they've moved here and that type of stuff. Is that a pretty good component of the adult soccer population for Florida?
It's a part of it, for sure. Are you talking about the Britons and the Irish and the whole gamut coming in?
Of course, it's huge over there. Yeah. It's their number one sport. Right. The most popular sport in England.
Well, in our adult league, we have about every culture represented, without a doubt, and it's which is one of the reasons why I love the sport so much, is because it's so diverse.
Arthur, one of the things that actually just took place was the 2013 Florida Classic, the fourth annual, took place back in January. What was really interesting to us and to me was the fact you had 3 international teams, one of those from Trinidad. That has to be one heck of a story there.
Well, our Florida Classic tournament has been growing by leaps and bounds ever since we started it 4 years ago. And the word has not only spread throughout the state of Florida, but I think we had probably 18 different states represented at that tournament.
How many teams were involved?
We had probably between 60 and 70 teams.
Wow. Okay.
And the fact that, from an economic standpoint,
Huge.
for this area, having all of that out of town, out of state, and out of country money come into this area is really one of the reasons why I've pushed this tournament as hard as I have and has marketed it as hard. But the team from Trinidad, really neat because it was an over 50 team that came from Trinidad, and it took a lot of work and a lot of effort to get a lot of these players cleared. The international teams have to have international clearance through U.S. Soccer, so we have a staff that takes care of accommodating those needs. But it's a lot of work to bring an international team, especially when they have never traveled before, because there's a lot of things to take care of.
Yeah.
But one interesting thing about the Trinidad team was that after spending some time with them, I came to find out that not only had a majority of the team never been to the United States before, but probably over half of the team had never been out of Trinidad before. So to be able to spend some time with them, to experience, not just our culture, but just the shock of being off the island. One of the first things I wanted to do was when they got into town, and they flew into Tampa and then drove over here to Lakeland, and they stayed in Lakeland. I wanted to, give them a little taste of, some of the America culture that I like, and so I took them to Winter Sports Bar, and got them some chicken wings and some beer, and this was after we had a little pickup game, and to look at the looks on their faces when they were just experiencing the food that they had never had before, and just the environment,
right here in Polk County.
Right here in Polk County, and everybody was so friendly to them. Long story short, they're coming back next year, and they're going to be 4 more teams with them. So it was a huge success.
Wow, that is something else.
And how did they play? How was their soccer?
They actually did make it to the finals.
Wow.
They came in second place in the over 50 division, and they beat some really good teams. I mean, they brought a good team. I mean, these guys have been playing soccer. There's nothing else to do in Trinidad than to play soccer, and that's all these guys had done their whole lives. So you've got 50-plus-year-old guys that very experienced in the game, and their coach for their over 50 team is also their coach for their men's national team. Ooh. So I mean, they were well coached, and they were pretty well financed too. It cost them close to $50,000 to bring the team over, and most of that was financed from the country of Trinidad.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yes,
that is awesome.
In talking with them, what were some of their professions?
A wide range. I would say probably half of them. And I didn't have an opportunity to talk to every one of them, but a lot of professionals. A lot of professionals, white collar, blue collar, across the board, but all shared a real passion for the game, and they're representing their country. They brought all of the board of directors on my board one of their national jerseys. Their coach did, and there were a lot of gifts exchanged back and forth from their team, to the Soccer Association and so on and so forth. But it was a great experience for them, and it really was for us. And this is why we do that.
Well, a month from this weekend, you have the State Cup, 2013 State Cup. I think it starts, is it May 4th?
Yes, I believe
somewhere
so.
in there, yeah. And, of course, that's a Kentucky Derby weekend. Imagine that. Anyway, so you've got a big tournament coming up. How many teams are you anticipating for the State Cup? Because I know it's a prestigious deal. I mean, this is a big deal for the state of Florida.
Yes, it is. The May 4th weekend is actually going to be our semifinals and finals.
Okay.
They've been playing knockout rounds for the last month. There's home and aways for some of the earlier rounds, and they're actually in the process of working through that right now. But I think we have close to 80 teams that are involved with this, and they're all members of the Florida State Soccer Association, so they're all right here. And I'd say probably half of them are Central Florida teams. And in some of the divisions, like our open division, which would be a lot of the 19 to 25-year-olds, the winner of that division ends up going on to the regional tournament and the national tournament. And when they go to the national tournament, if they rank high enough, then they will compete against MLS teams and other professional teams. So for those handful of players that haven't been, selected or recognized or kind of picked out, there's a really good chance for them to, show their talents in front of a national group.
Now, this is the FSSA State Cup. This is like the state championships.
Yes.
Okay, so this is the big daddy.
This is it. Yeah.
This is it.
For the state of Florida. If you want to represent the state of Florida, you have to win this tournament.
How many divisions do you have? You think, well, from 19 and up, you go from 19 to 70 up, Hank's age.
we've got 3 open divisions, and the top open division is the Alarcon Cup. And
I wondered what that was.
I'll have them call you. The winner of the Alarcon Cup actually gets to get their team name engraved on a sterling silver trophy, which stands about this high. And it's a really prestigious division to win. And then once you win that, then you will go on and represent the state of Florida. And the state of Florida typically does very well at the regional and national tournaments. We have a lot of national championship teams that have come from the state of Florida. But we've got divisions. We got 3 open divisions. We got a women's, we have a co-ed, we have over 30, over 40, over 50, and a new over 60 division.
Oh, there you go.
Which is very popular. There you go. There you go.
Well, the finals are finally found it, but the finals are May 5th, and the semifinals are May 4th, and it's at Lake Myrtle.
Right.
And it's amazing. Hank and I and other people, you of course, travel the state and talk to people, and all of a sudden a discussion about soccer will come up. Oh, my kids are playing soccer. I'm in a league up here in Jacksonville or Gainesville or whatever, and you ask them, well, have you ever been to Lake Myrtle down in Polk County in Auburndale? Oh, that's one of the best facilities in the country. You get that unsolicited feedback about what, the shape. It's really a testament to Mickey Etherton and Bobby Green and the shape they keep that facility in. What's been your experience?
Well, I can tell you some of the feedback that we've gotten, especially from the Florida Classic tournament. Most of the Florida teams, they know where Lake Myrtle is and they know where Auburndale is, and they certainly recognize it as being the premier site for soccer tournaments, without a doubt. Now it's getting recognition not only nationwide but worldwide. When we have these international teams come in, the first thing they say is, there's nothing like this in our country. And then we have teams from all over the United States that come in and they say there's nothing like this in our state. Wow. So I got to tell you that not just being from the state of Florida, but being from Polk County, I am incredibly proud of the Lake Myrtle complex and how it turned out. And every time we have a tournament there, it's a real pleasure to put them on those quality fields and quality park, because I know that they're going to leave thinking that this is the best that they've been on.
Well, I know you're wrapping up, and we've got to wrap up here too, but you're wrapping up the second year of a 2-year presidency so far. Are you going to continue in your role? We certainly hope so.
Yeah,
I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but I do it all the time.
I've already declared that I'll certainly run for another term.
Yeah, that's great news.
So, and I think, so far everything's going great with the organization. I've got great support, and I want to keep us on the track that we're on right now. And one of my main goals is to bring as many tournaments, big quality tournaments, to Lake Myrtle and Polk County as possible, because I know that is, that really has an economic impact.
That pumps, like you said, all it does is just pump millions of dollars into Polk County, makes us all wealthy.
And I see it happen too. When we pack up Winter Circle and with 50 people, and they get a call the next day, hey, thanks for bringing them over. Yeah. It's just little stuff that helps.
I hear it all the time. It's just like, oh, we had all these, just phenomenal. Thanks so much. We appreciate you.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate FSSA, and we'll look forward to the State Cup coming up starting May 4th and 5th. So good to see you.